Welcome to Zwartkops International Raceway west of Pretoria for the final round of the Rotax Max Challenge South Africa. In the Bambino class, it was going to be a four-way battle between Ryan Karim, Tsapang Sheshenwana, Luan Mostert and Caleb Odendaal. Karim started the weekend well with a pole position ahead of Sheshenwana. Caleb Moss the surprise up there with Caleb Odendaal in fourth ahead of Luan Mostert and Keegan Beaumont. Talk to me about the season so far and coming here this weekend. What is your plan?
My plan is to win the national, the first heat, and tomorrow the second heat. And yeah.
This circuit here, do you like it?
Yes.
What do you like about the circuit?
I like the downhills and the uphills.
The downhills and the uphills and through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Now say to me, who's going to be the guys you have to watch out for tomorrow, today and later today and tomorrow?
Tsapang and Caleb Odendaal.
And do you have a plan to beat them?
Yeah. Let's see if there's an improvement. Yes, on lap 4, Vivian Naido, a 50.3 just to show you the difference between Bambino's. We lose a minute and we run an eye.
How are you feeling about this weekend's racing?
I'm feeling well.
How did qualifying go?
It went very well. I qualified 4th.
Okay, and what are you going to do now for tomorrow's racing? Who are the guys what you'll have to pass to beat?
Karim, Tsapang and Luan Mostert.
And how do you feel about this first championship this year? We had the final round. Do you really think it was a good season?
Yep, it was a good season.
The first race saw Tsapang Sheshenwana getting the win ahead of Ryan Karim, keeping him in touch with Karim for the championship, with Odendaal and Mostert doing the chase work from behind.
Right, welcome back here to Zwartkops International and the karting circuit, as we've got, of course, the lead kart taking these Bambino category competitors all the way around. They go straight into the start. They don't have a warm-up. And as of yesterday, Tsapang Sheshenwana and Ryan Karim basically fighting hard there with Caleb Odendaal and Luan Mostert for this championship. And how's that? 4x4, side by side, into turn 1. Bambinos are certainly in the house here, and it's a super start from Mostert, who leads things out down into turn number 2. The local guys are all trying to close in on the man from Cape Town, and what a start there from Luan as he hangs on through the tunnel for the first time.
Yeah, 4x4, so it's not going to be very easy for Luan Mostert. He's got a lot of work ahead of him. The track certainly is wide enough for these small Bambinos to make a bit of a competition going into each turn, actually.
Change up. As we've got 75, Caleb Odendaal hitting the front, Luan Mostert there into second, and the 88 kart. Sure, where did he come from? Caleb Moss was on pole, went backwards, then came to third. Now he's fighting for fourth. Oh, what a big tap! Yo, that was a huge one. That was the championship leader there.
Yeah, Ryan Karim.
And of course, he is the man who finished in second place in race 1 yesterday. Now, I don't know if there's enough time for him to close in, because remember, this is a short lap. This is only 8 for the Bambinos. Exactly. So in 8 laps, and Mostert now giving a little tap to the back end of Odendaal, I should say. So Odendaal just getting a little tap from the back there from Luan Mostert. There's no holds barred here, is there, hey? Have these guys actually thought about there's a big possibility of the nose cone penalties coming in?
Jeez, and with only 2 laps in, they're taking so many risks, as opposed to the red mist coming in. They know how tight it is and how at any point the championship could switch up. I mean, we just saw Ryan Karim, they're losing out of nowhere. So they do know the stakes are quite high at the moment, so I don't see them holding back, Greg.
We can see that we've literally got some fun and games happening in that mid-pack, but championship leader Ryan Karim being sent to the sideline is not what he wanted.
Not at all.
75, of course, is Caleb Odendaal. He's in contention, but Luan Mostert, I think, is more importantly the man to watch out for. And, of course, Tsapang Sheshenwana. Where is the 30 kart? Because we haven't really spoken about him yet. He all of a sudden comes into play and slots up into what is now second place on track.
Jeez. There's a lot of competition to be happening for the first 2 laps of the race.
There's 7 karts fighting for the lead here, bud. 2, 4, 6, 7 karts. Yeah, 7 karts fighting for the lead. Good dive, and Sheshenwana dives on the inside and finds a way through. Now, can he keep out Odendaal? Odendaal comes back at him. Around the outside comes Luan Mostert. We've got 2x2 into turn 2. They all eventually slot in line astern, but it's not quite the way you want to be fighting in a championship that is so evenly matched. And some great driving happening out there as well. Keep an eye as well on Keegan Beaumont, who's also slotted up there in the 7-7 cart. He's also got a chance of maybe spoiling the day for a couple of guys. And Jordan Wadley in the 43 cart, because we've got a 7-way battle for the lead.
Caleb Odendaal didn't leave Tshepang Shishinana at the helm for too long there, just taking his back just after the bridge. Very nice move there, but we'll see if Shishinana has an answer for that.
He does.
Ooh,
inside,
side.
And no wheels touching this time.
Ooh,
I think they might have realized that if you touch wheels through the crossover, you're going to end up in the wall or you're going to end up in the tunnel. Because you could probably go over the wall and down into the tunnel and make up half a lap without even being asked.
That was a very impressive move by Shishinwana there. I've got a word for that. It rhymes with Allsy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cojones is another one. Right, so Shinsenwana now hits the front and ahead of Odendaal. Here comes, as I said, watch out. That number 7-7 cart is all of a sudden into the mixture, and Beaumont could be a bit of a threat here to the front end. He loses a little bit of ground there between turn 1 and 2 and just gets outgunned by the 6 cart of Roderick Simpson. So Roderick Simpson just making his way to the front end too. Nice bit of maneuvering there. In fact, Roderick Simpson setting his personal best lap time to get up into this pack. Mostert with the lead.
Very impressive.
But he runs wide and loses drive, unfortunately. See, up the hill, you've got... In these S's, I mean, you've driven this circuit before, so you know. And I've done this in a cart. I've done it in a saloon car, and I've also done it on a bike. Yeah. If you don't carry the right line to the start of that twisty that brings you to the top of the hill, you lose out. Yeah, and that's exactly why you're seeing the maneuver that Mostert was able to pull there.
Yeah, you need a lot of momentum going down there, using the downhill speed coming out from the bridge.
And Mostert hangs on now as they come across the line and complete another lap. That is going to be lap number 4. We're halfway through this one. And now a change up around the outside comes the 8-8. And I'll tell you something, one little carter we've got to keep an eye on as well is that Caleb Moss. He's a little bit of a sort of quiet driver, but every now and again just throws in something spectacular. And that's exactly what he's trying to do now. As he moves up into 3rd place, does he? No, side by side there with 77. And Keegan Beaumont just keeps him honest through turn 2.
But I like the respectful racing as well. No one sort of barged into anyone. And the only real casualty we've seen was Ryan Kareem, who I haven't seen for a while. Where is he? I
think the issue he's had there is there were so many carts. I don't think it was an intentional touch. There was a touch, but it wasn't intentional because there were 6-7 carts side by side. When we saw into turn 1 on the start, it was 4x4. There were literally 4 carts side by side into turn 2. So, you know, sometimes you just put a wheel wrong or you just get a little touch on the bumper. And it sends you sideways. So let's have a look and see. We're looking at lap times of 103s as the best times so far of the weekend. These guys currently in the 104s, but Roderick Simpson did a 103.8. And look at Ryan Kareem. He's up to 11th place now. He's doing 103.7. So fastest man on track is in 11th place. And the championship leader is trying to get to this pack. But it's not an easy day, that's for sure, for Ryan Kareem, particularly here in heat number 2. He moves up. I can see him just outside my window here, diving through in the background. Watching the background, you'll see him come through there. So there are 2, 6, 7 carts. The 8th cart on track now is Ryan Kareem.
Yeah. But I do wonder if we're going to be able to break into the 103s, given that there's so much dicing, there's just so much racing.
That's the problem.
I mean, Keegan Beaumont has managed to work his way up and give a bit of trouble to the top 4 there, but at least 5 drivers have taken the lead already.
There you go, another prime example of Beaumont's line going into the start of the twisties. It should give him the best drive up the hill, and he might be able to squeeze through there on Shinsenwana. So I think Tshepang could be in a bit of trouble here because there was some fantastic drive there. But as I say that, same thing happened with the 75 cart there of Odendaal.
And you got Odendaal side by side with Beaumont there.
That was close.
Very close, yeah.
Nearly a touch between the two of them. And oh, what a move on the inside there from Lewin Mostert. Thanks for coming. Second last corner, he dives on the inside. Look, he keeps that inside line. I'm not quite sure why. He should have run wide and gone up onto the high line now because look at how compromised his drive across the line. He just lost all the drive he'd gained. And yes, he goes defensive, and I think he might have just slotted through to hang on to 3rd. He has. But it's defensive driving that he's doing. You don't want to be doing defensive driving. You want to be carrying smooth lines. You want to be carrying corner speed with these carts. There's not a lot of power in these carts, so corner speed is crucial.
Very true. They need a lot of as much momentum as they can have. But I think he's counting down too because he doesn't have many laps in it to go. Maybe a bit of pressure on himself there. That's why he's going defensive so early.
Well, we've got some fun and games still to happen here, and I can tell you with 2 laps to go, it's not done yet. Lewin Mostert under attack there from Odendaal. Behind him, you can see the 88 cart of Caleb Moss. Haven't really mentioned Caleb Moss though, but he's up there too. And of course, with the racing stable that Moss comes out of, there's a very good possibility we may see some elbows come out there, because the people that come from the Moss family, they don't like to put their elbows out and fight for karting or for any kind of motorsport, do they?
No, not at all. No elbows, no knees, no toes, nothing. They keep it clean.
Right, last lap is about to start, and it is Chapang Sinchanwana looking for a double victory here, and that'll be a great start to the weekend and a good possibility of him wrapping things up in this championship with Ryan Kareem dropping so far back. Now, can he close in on Ryan Kareem after the 2 wins he's taken? Kareem got second yesterday. Right now, Kareem is sitting down in 9th place. So that's going to be a huge one. But remember, there are some drop points, and he could possibly use that 9th place as one of his drops.
A very smart move by Beaumont. They're going wide, trying to get as much drive as possible going into the tunnel, but it didn't seem to yield any dividends for him. Shishinwana still in the lead, and he does seem to have enough momentum going up into the twisties.
Yeah, and looking forward to seeing what he's going to be able to do now as he gets up to the top end of the twisties now. Look at Moss applying massive pressure onto Udendal. Udendal just soaking it up, though, and just keeping it all together. Checkered flag is on standby as these guys head down there, and it looks like it is going to be Shinsanwana who's timed it to perfection. He was just able to get through there on that last lap, and on the last lap, just give that little bit of extra boost to get through and find those special lines. That's given him 2-3 kart lengths to the checkered flag and the win as well in heat number 2 here of the Rotax Max final. So a great drive coming out of Chapang Sinchanwana, taking the win there ahead of Keegan Beaumont and Caleb Udendal, with Moss and Lewin Mostert making up the top 5. Mostert, unfortunately, dropping back to 5th place there after just taking the wrong lines on the last part of the lap. Great driving from them. Let's have a look at Ryan Kareem, though, finishing in 9th place. That's not where he wants to be, and that is going to be a costly mistake that he made, even though it probably wasn't his mistake. The little tap and the send into the wall at the crossover is crucial at this point. We'll be back soon with some Micromax.
And how did your race go?
It went well. I don't think I had such a good start. I think I drove well.
Now the next race, what are you going to do to go faster?
I think I'll just, I don't know what place I'm starting, but maybe just slot in behind. Well, I think I'm starting 5th. I'll slot in behind the guy in front of me, just try and follow him through the front, to the front.
How did your race go?
It went fine, but someone knocked me, I don't know who. And then I was close to Mateo and Moss. And I came 4th last.
Did you try very hard to get back to the front?
Yes.
Tell me about it. Look at me, tell me.
Someone knocked me, then my ankle bent.
Oh dear, and then so what are you going to do for your next race? How are you going to improve?
I think my dad is going to make my kart a bit faster, and then hopefully the guy didn't knock me again.
The most exciting racing came out of Bambino's. We had 4x4 into turn 1, and there were 4 side by side into turn 1. So more of the same to come your way now as we try and sort things out for our Bambino category. Whoa. I don't know if that's going to be a start. I don't think that'll be deemed as a start. No.
No.
It is. Okay. So they've given them a go-ahead. And into turn 1, it is the 6-6 kart that goes through there. Nice little start from these guys as they come down, and of course now got to just swap out to our Bambino category, but where did they disappear to? Oh, there's one more. I put it away, sorry, my bad. Where was Bambino? There they are. So Ryan Kareem, of course, is the man who's got to try and sort things out here, and he's got to try and do it all from the back of the field after being tapped out in race number 1. So let's see whether or not the 17 kart can make his way through. Right now it is the 77 kart of Beaumont who leads out as they head through the twisties and up the hill. And let's see if there's going to be any changes. Battle of the double numbers as well, because 88 Caleb Moss is right there too. And I know that Christine was watching, and hopefully she's going to enjoy seeing young Caleb Moss do some great stuff at the front end. 30, of course, is a hard charger. And needless to say, Chapang Sinchanwana taking a win yesterday is in contention for a win here today again. He's already taken one victory today and looking for a second one as they come across the line again to complete lap 1 of 8.
And I'm looking for Lewin Mostert. He was very much a feature in the last heat, but he also came out of nowhere. He kind of came out of the woodwork to put his name ahead there. and get involved in some of the front line battles. But yeah, there he is. He's 32. Just came up in the 32,
shot. Third in the championship and down in 8th place. Not where you want to be in Bambinos. Not when it's this competitive. Not when it's this close. Not when the drivers are all lapping on exactly the same laps. Literally up to 10th place. 69. Oh, a little out of shape there.
There's Rafael da Silva losing out.
You know why he runs 69, eh?
Was it?
Because if he flips the cart upside down, the cart's still number 69 as well.
So
that's the rule.
Was he trying to flip it around?
No, hopefully not. We did see some big action here in the past where carts have flipped out and guys have literally jumped back in the cart to get going again.
Jeez.
Mikel Patrizzi just comes to mind in turn 1. He flipped the cart completely upside down, got out the cart. Medics didn't even get a chance to conceive he was right, and he jumped up, turned the cart back over and got going again.
And no injuries.
No injuries. Well, I think a little injury to the pride, but he made that up again because I think he then went on to finish 2nd or 3rd.
Jeez.
Right, so down towards turn 1, possibility of a change-up for the lead here. Is Shinsen Zwartkops going to be good enough on the brakes to get through on the 8-8? And he does. Caleb Moss down to 2nd place. And Tsepang has moved up into the lead of the race.
Well done by Shishinwana there. Let's see if he's able to keep it his lead. Spoke too soon. Yeah.
Well, Moss returns the favour and, well, he runs a bit wide, which will allow Tsepang to come back at him. No, he doesn't know about the stick. Where is 17? 17 at the moment is down in 5th place. So Ryan Kareem has got the lead of the championship, but Tsepang and Shinsen Zwartkops taking 2 wins on the day here. If he does get the 2nd victory, is doing everything right. Kareem has now slotted up into 4th place. And I'm sure that Salma is enjoying all the action as her youngster gets flying up the hill. And now back into contention, potentially for 3rd. Yes, he's through. Great move. Udendal, nowhere to go.
Very nice. Had a good run, probably going up the hill.
But Udendal comes back at him.
Oh,
and there's some real close action there. Who's your money on? 7's normally a lucky number, and 17 and 77 side by side. Kareem and Beaumont. Very evenly matched through that little changeover. And, of course, at the XPS changeover there, it makes it very difficult. Now, across the line, closing things down, there is once again Moss on the inside, late on the brakes. Shinsen Zwartkops will try and come back at him. He's known that Moss is going to run wide. That's why he cut back, see if he can get the better drive. And now looking across the whole time. Look at that. It's amazing. Moss, eyes focused. You can see through the clear visor he's got. He didn't look across once. And you can see the whole time there was just that little right-hand look. Where are you going to brake? Where are you going to brake?
And that's what he misses his own marker.
He's catching himself out, exactly. Yeah. He's catching himself out. But the two of them are working nicely together and getting away from the 3rd pack. So that one is led out by 75 Caleb Udendal. On his tail is the 77 of Beaumont. And Kareem is going backwards. That's a big concern there for Ryan Kareem. Ryan Kareem is leading this championship. And with Shinsen Zwartkops at the front end, Kareem cannot afford to be in 4th, 5th, or 6th place. He's got to be at the front end and possibly even in front of his arch rival in this championship, which is not where he is right now. And Tsepang is doing everything right.
Lewin Mustard making the best of the tight section there, getting a lot of momentum coming out of it, and he's able to gain a few positions. Going down the home straight again, he might gain perhaps one more position ahead of number 75 card there. There he is, Lewin Mustard coming to shot, very defensive. And goes a bit wide, but is able to secure his position. So he is working his way back up. I mean, he wasn't a feature early on in the race, but he's worked his way back up to 5th, I believe. He's still got a bit of work ahead of him. Caleb Udendal will make it easy for him.
Lewin Mostert has to go around the outside of Caleb Udendal.
Yeah.
Ryan Kareem coming into the clutches of the 43 cart. So Jordan Wadley now starting to affect the ability and the potential of a championship going to Ryan Kareem. And Wadley's through. Oh, nearly had a big look there. Kareem was just able to keep him out. Wadley gets forced wide, though, as he makes a mistake coming down onto the breakers there. And I think that was by Mateo Masson. So Mateo Masson now also becoming a threat into this potential of a championship being lost here by Ryan Kareem.
Yeah, he must be a very frustrated racer right now because he's getting slowed down by one Lewin Mostert as well as Caleb Udendal there in their dicing. He's sort of killing his own pace and momentum, and he needs to be out at the front. So he must be very frustrated about what's going on in front of him.
Kareem behind Udendal and looking at Wadley coming on his inside. I don't think he's seen Wadley. That was close. Ryan Kareem, I don't think actually saw Wadley coming around the outside there, and Jordan Wadley had to try and take a different line. Watch the cutback that he didn't go for the cutback. I thought he might because he went very wide. I thought he might try and cut back and get drive down towards turn 2. Oh, Wadley touching the back end of Ryan Kareem. Two of them coming together there and just getting forced to a different line than what they'd like to. Kareem has to take a wide line through turn 2. Gets through on Udendal. Udendal now under attack from Jordan Wadley as they go under the tunnel.
Yeah, Kareem knows he's got to pull his socks up now and work as much pace up as possible. He's doing a bit better than early parts of the race, but he's got less challenges. I think he's got more open space, so he should be able to get more momentum, especially around circuits, or parts of the circuit rather, like this, where he needs entry momentum to be able to pull out with a lot of power going up the hill.
But 6th place is not good enough.
Yeah, not at all.
Not with Chipang being at the front end. So Shinsen Wana doing it all right. Yes, he's fighting with Moss, but he is 5 positions up the road from the championship leader. So having taken a win already, and Kareem having some problems in the first heat, problems of his own in the second heat here, with 2 laps to go, Chipang Sinchanawana is looking like he is on song here for potentially spoiling what would have been a championship run to the line for Ryan Kareem.
Yeah, he's going to have to delay his celebrations there, if having any celebrations at all. It's just not a very defensive going into that part of the track. I've seen him go much wider than before, so he knows he's got an imminent threat there with, is it Roderick Simpson? I believe it is, 66 of Roderick Simpson, yeah, right behind him there.
So now moving through. Leon Moss has got a very weird line coming down to his bottom corner. He doesn't take a sweeping line. He goes a defensive line and then sweeps out. So he's early in and late out as opposed to being late out and early in. Maybe they need to have a chat to him about the lines that he's using through there, because that's where he's losing ground. There's no doubt about it. And he could be a lot further up the road if he was getting the lines right at the bottom end of that track. Ryan Kareem now has pulled a small margin over the 7-7. So maybe he can just hang in there and potentially salvage as many points as possible as they start the last lap. So out front, Chipang Shinsenwana doing everything right with Caleb Moss right on his tail. Moss wants to take the victory, but I think Shinsenwana realizes that if he takes this win, he is going to close the gap down dramatically, and there's going to be hardly anything in between himself and Ryan Kareem for the last race. So it'll be down to the last race as to who is going to take this championship. You can see Kareem is in the house here, and he's really concerned about what's happening. It's not where he wants to be, that's for sure, but it's not done yet. Shinsenwana has closed in, but he hasn't taken the title yet, and it's going to be very close. So literally the last heat of Bambinos will decide who is going to be our SA champ.
And did you not open this race saying this is the most exciting class we've seen today?
I did say that,
Gee.
I did say that in terms of how tight it's been. Look, it's not as close as what it was in the second heat.
Yeah.
This third heat has kind of had 2 carts in it as opposed to the 7 carts we had in the first one. And Moss doesn't seem to have an answer here. Moss is just running line astern there and might go for a drag race to the line, but not with the way that Shinsenwana has driven. He's driven to perfection and secures a victory. So with that win, he has now come down within a couple of points to Ryan Kareem. Beautiful. And the last heat of the day from Bambinos will be the decider for the championship. That's what you want in karting. Confirmation of the results, though, it's Chipang Shinsenwana taking the win there for the Burrell team as he comes through ahead of Caleb Moss. Lewin Mostert eventually finished up in 3rd place, not getting the start he wanted, but 3rd was good enough. And Keegan Beaumont. Ryan Kareem still leads the championship by a small margin into the final heat in 5th place with Christian Verheul and Jordan Wadley in 6th and 7th. It was Matteo Masson in 8th, beating out Roderick Simpson. And Caleb Woodenall eventually dropped down to 10th place.
It was a very nerve-wracking week, but I think he did his best. That's all that we asked of him, just to do his best. Whether we finish 1st or 2nd, we said it's okay. But I think he was better, he was more relaxed for the weekend, and he did well. And congratulations to Ryan as well, he gave us a big fight. Yeah, it went down to the wire.
Safety car did catch out one of our contenders in this championship in the 3rd heat earlier on today, so hopefully they're all going to stay within the tram lines. They have had sort of a bit of a warning from our stewards and the officials to say you guys must stay in the tram lines, don't follow the safety car. The safety car is, and they're not listening. They're certainly not listening, Walter.
Exactly that, and I wonder if they're going to
let them. They're not listening to us yet. They are just all over the place. Bambino, so good luck on your job a bit later on. You're going to have a couple of guys coming to chat to you about potentially the wrong start. But they've given it a clear and an all clear for the start. So Bambinos, I think we're going to call them Bambinos because they just literally bam each other into turn 1 and 2.
4 aside too, so definitely a lot of bamming there.
4 points in the championship though, Prince. We've got Chipang Shinsenwana on 365, Ryan Kareem on 361. Then we go down about 21 points to Lewin Mostert on 343. So we got 3 drivers in with a chance of still winning this championship, depending on what happens here in this 4th and final heat of the weekend. And it is Shinsenwana who is leading things out at the moment, doing everything to perfection to ensure that he secures this championship. He has got the lead. It's only 4 points. But if he stays there and you don't have an answer from the first blue cart out there, which is a bit further back, as you can see. Looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 7th or 8th place there for Ryan Kareem. That is going to be a massive loss there for Ryan Kareem if he can't fight hard for the front end. Lewin Mostert has still got a chance as well. He, of course, is down on 343 points and currently sits in 6th place on the track.
Geez, so Shishinwana's going to hope for a clean race, because this definitely isn't clean. They are the Bambinos, as we said, after all. But he's going to be hoping to keep as... Ooh, someone just
Kareem,
back there.
did you see how far back he is?
Wow.
Ryan Kareem is nowhere, but he's sitting down in like 7th and 8th place on the track in kart 17. Not doing his championship aspirations any good in that position, with Shishinwana leading things out here. Tsepang has gone to the front and is looking to just get away from everyone. Look at the gap he's pulling already on 2nd place, Mateo Masson, who is slowing. It is 28 there, Mateo Masson just slowing down. A problem there for Mateo Masson. Not a championship contender, but Masson is in 12th place in this championship, but he was right up there. Not in a usual position for Mateo. So there's a big pity there for the youngster, because you're right there. But have a look at this. You look at it on the screen. I've got 1 cart and then 10 carts behind flying into turn 1. And any one of those 10 could get 2nd place in this race. But is it going to be Ryan Kareem who can make his way to the front and spoil the day for Shishinwana?
Yeah.
He is the back cart. There is the lead. That's the leader. 30 is the leader of the championship. 17, which we haven't panned with, unfortunately. Wait for him. There he is. 17 is the man who is in 2nd place, 4 points adrift to the lead cart. But he is now 8 carts between him.
So 17 has 7 places to make, and the first place he needs to get past is that of 77.
Yeah. That's a hard ask, but not an easy thing to do, that is for sure.
Not with the Bambino.
No, not with Bambinos. Bambinos, you're going to have to bam to get through. And I don't know if Kareem is up for it, because he's not even getting the same kind of pace as that second group. He's the third group. He's the lone cart in the third group on track. And it has gone completely wrong here for Ryan Kareem, because remember, Ryan Kareem yesterday was second to Shishinwana. He's got good pace. We know he's got the pace to run at the front end. He's just not putting it into practice here in the race that counts for this championship.
Shishinwana just lost a lot of places. As you can see, there's a lot of carts actually catching up to him. Caleb Ordendal being the first of those carts. I wonder what happened there. Maybe a slight mistake, maybe a bit less drive, but Roderick Simpson also in the running there. I haven't mentioned his name today. We haven't been seeing a lot of him, but Caleb Moss also among the names. Someone making a lot of the pickings there. Geez, man, it's really a shame to see how far back Ryan Kareem is, but I just hope he's keeping it fun and still enjoying himself racing out there. I think sometimes it can be a lot of pressure to be thinking about
we do know that this is a lot of fun for these guys.
Yeah,
there really is. There's a lot of fun, and the majority of them are out there having fun. And even if they are fighting for championships, I don't think the pressure is put onto these kids as much as what it is maybe a bit higher up in the minis, the micros, and the juniors, for instance. But this is also a learning curve for them as well, because remember, they have to learn how to deal with victory, how to deal with defeat, how to deal with race strategies being thrown at you, how to deal with teammates that not play the game, how to deal with rivals that play together against you. You know, there's all of those things that come into play, and it's part and parcel of learning the sport that we love so much, Prince. How to deal with all the factors that come into play in motorsport.
100%, and they become very mature individuals as a result. A lot of these kids are very young. Like, you can only tell by the size of their bodies. I mean, these are all but toddlers, almost. Very young and learning a lot of the dynamics of being a human, apart from just being a racer, having to be friends and be competing with someone at the same time.
Well, I know that we're concentrating on this front battle, but if our cameraman just stays and just hangs on to, instead of panning with him, we just want to see how far back Ryan Kareem is, because unfortunately this is the championship that's going. There he is. Look at that. It's a massive loss there to Ryan Kareem, and I think maybe just a bit dejected, because he was involved. Yeah, a bit of argy-bargy there, but he was involved in that incident that they queried in race number 3.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just thrown him off completely, and it might have just given him the lack of confidence that he needed for this last race. Maybe he's just feeling dejected.
Yeah, 100%. Would have been nice to see him up front running, though. It really would have made things a bit difficult and tricky, at least for Shishinwana, because the gap is literally, it's just a hair. 4 points is literally nothing, especially given the competitive level of this class, and we've seen it all day with the past 3 heats over the entire weekend. So really sad to see the position that...
Right, so we've got Shishinwana under attack from Lewin Mostert, who's now moved up, and Mostert moving up to first place overall could potentially move him ahead of Ryan Kareem in the championship. Lewin Mostert doing everything right. Ryan Kareem falling by the wayside here, and that's not what he wanted, that is for sure. So we've literally got Lewin Mostert and Kareem, the two Cape Town-based drivers, possibly changing up here in the championship on the last race of the season. So can that be a potentially big toppling of the top three, with Lewin Mostert putting in an effort of note here?
Yeah, Mostert has looked aggressive from the beginning. I mean, at some point he was even getting a bit of curb there. So going so fast, he managed to catch some curb. I don't think these cars have that much power and ability to be able to keep momentum. But it's a game of momentum, especially going down down the main straight and also going down out of the tunnel. The momentum they get out into the tight sections there is very important. That's what makes a lot of the difference. Let's see if Mostert will be making a move on Shishinwana. No, he's not. But he cut back on the outside and he pulled out ahead of him. He had a better run out of that turn 1 there than Shishinwana. But as they approach turn 2, they tuck in behind him, and Mostert now has the lead ahead of Shishinwana and Caleb Ordendal. Very nice driving there.
Okay, quick calculation while you were chatting, and even though Ryan Kareem is down in 9th place, it's enough to secure him 2nd place, but only by 7 points. Lewin Mostert taking the win will get him to 378 points, and the 9th place will give Ryan Kareem 385. So if Cisco stays out there, stays in 9th, he will be finishing up in the 2nd place of this championship.
Very, very nice little piece or sequence of racing maneuvers there by Lewin Mostert. I'm sure he's very much aware of the stakes. Look at the lead he's opened up on everyone. Very far ahead of Caleb Ordendal as well as Tsepang Shishinwana there. I think a bit of dicing there between Caleb Ordendal and Shishinwana that sort of pushed them back and allowed for a chance for Mostert to actually open a gap on them.
Yeah, Ordendal diving through into 2nd place there, and Shishinwana down 1 position. So not quite according to what he wanted in terms of his planning, but Ordendal now with Moss on his tail, and then Shishinwana. Shishinwana, even if he finishes there, is still going to hang on to the lead because of where Kareem is going to finish up and down in 9th.
Yeah.
In fact, Kareem can still finish in 12th place and still secure the 2nd place overall. So just working out the possible changes in that championship with him staying in 9th for now. But if he stays in 9th or even down in 12th, he just can't come last in the race.
Yeah, that's all.
That's the only thing he can't do.
He'd hate that. I don't think he liked that on his record. Last race at the end of the end, the last heat, coming out last. That would just ruin his... I think that would eat away at his morale, but he's a racer after all, so he's going to keep his head up.
Right, so checkered flag about to come out now for this man, and Lewin Mostert having a quick look over his shoulder just to make sure. The final blood of 2019 goes to Cape Town, and it goes to Lewin Mostert. A great drive there from the young man, and a good checkered flag for him as well. It'll move him and secure him 3rd place overall in the championship, but the last victory of the season goes to Lewin Mostert. 2nd place is Caleb Ordendal. He's just squeezed through there on Caleb Moss, and the two Calebs there beating Keegan Beaumont and Tsepang Shishinwana, your new 2019 South African Rotax Max Bambino champion.